everyone, my name is Christina Hoffman and I'm here today to talk to you about my honors undergraduate thesis that I completed last year when I was doing the 4th year of my sociology degree back at Trent University. So to be quite honest, just to begin this video, I think it was the best thing that I ever decided to do in my undergrad experience. I loved my 4th year of university just because of my thesis, well, for other reasons as well, but that was a huge part of it because I found it really allowed me to explore myself as a researcher, and it gave me a lot of opportunity to work independently and to kind of explore my own research interests, which I find is really unique and is an awesome opportunity if you have those passions, if you have something that you're interested in from 1st, 2nd, or even 3rd year. If you find that thing that you're interested in, then by all means you should look into doing a thesis or a large research project because you can further explore those interests. So I guess when I was thinking about doing a thesis, always kind of in my 1st, 2nd, and 3rd years, a lot of my professors mentioned the opportunity of doing a thesis, and they talked a lot about how we should start thinking about what kinds of passions we have and what we're really interested in, because with a thesis you can continue to explore those passions through research. And so it got me kind of thinking. So back in 2nd and 3rd year, I guess, I kind of started to make a list in my head, and I came up with the 3 main things that had kind of driven my life up to that point and that I thought would continue to be very important to me for the rest of my life. So to tell you more specifically, so the first main thing for me was education. So I was in the concurrent education program back at Trent. This year I'm at Queen's doing my Bachelor of Education. So obviously education has always been a huge part of my life. I've always wanted to be a teacher, and that is something I really want to continue being involved with for the rest of my life. The second main thing that I was really passionate about was international travel and international relations. So I was very lucky as a child to travel a lot with my family, to have a lot of great international connections that really helped me see the world in a very different perspective that I really value to this day. And the third thing that I was really passionate about was music. So I'd grown up being a huge musician. I'd played piano and sang for my entire childhood and up until now as well. So this is something I really want to continue doing because I really see the value in music education and I believe strongly in it. So basically I knew from kind of thinking about those things that is generally what I wanted my thesis to be about. And so I went to talk to one of my sociology professors, and they basically said that the world was my oyster, and if that's what I wanted to do for my thesis, then I could go for it. So I had to figure out how I would do that, how I would weave those 3 things together in order to create a thesis that would be beneficial to me, but also would be relating to the sociology that I would have to tie into it. So that's the one main thing that I really liked about being in sociology, because the professors were very supportive and they really just wanted me to be interested in it. So I think that's really important, especially in doing a thesis or large project, because since I loved that project so much, I was fully committed to it for the full year, which it's a big commitment, but if it's something that you're really interested in, then it won't be hard work because you'll just be so engaged with it. So I found that really helped me last year. So basically for me, I guess in my 3rd year I started to research some options of what I could do for my thesis. So I ended up deciding to go volunteer down in Ecuador for just over 2 months. And so I was working with 2 music organizations there, so teaching music to young kids. And so I was able to actually compare 2 different organizations that functioned very differently, but ultimately had the same goal of educating the local students about different types of music from around the world. So this was really valuable to me because I was able to use the skills that I'd learned before, so in singing, in music theory, in piano, and I was able to actually teach kids. So I absolutely loved that. And while I was there, I was also able to do a lot of research. So I did some interviews with the teachers down there. I observed all of the classes. I observed the students, and I observed the community relationships that happened in those music organizations. So that was really valuable to me because I was fully able to integrate myself in that community. And I learned a lot just from being in that community and seeing how integral music is in the Ecuadorian communities where I lived. So most of my research was done when I was there, and when I got back to school, So I had been paired up with a thesis supervisor before I left, and so I was paired up with Professor Jim Conley. And so I'd been talking to him a little bit over the summer, just about my project basically. And the one thing that he told me, I'd never actually met him before. I didn't. We were just paired up because we had similar interests and he had similar experiences. But we talked a lot over email in the summer. So the one thing he told me when I was in Ecuador was just not to think about what my thesis would actually be in the end, but really to immerse myself and to get as much experience and as much information as possible. So that's what I did. So I took tons of notes when I was there, and when I got back in September to school, we met probably about once every 2 weeks and just discussed what I'd noticed there, what I'd picked out as being some interesting themes about music education, and then we put it all together. So he directed me. He has a great background in music education, in sociology of education, and I was able to put that together with my music and my personal experience in Ecuador. So it was really nice to have that collaboration with a professor, and we worked very closely throughout the year. So basically, I found that it was a really great accumulating project because it allowed me to use my prior knowledge in sociology and apply it to something that I was so passionate about, and that I will continue to be passionate about, for the rest of my life. So basically, I'm actually continuing to think a lot about my thesis this year at Queen's, because I looked a lot at education last year, and it's something that I'm constantly thinking about just because it is something I'm so passionate in exploring. So that's it, and if anybody has any questions for me, feel free to email me at any time, and my email address is choffman, so CHOFFMAN @trentu.ca. Love to talk to any of you if you have any questions about anything. All right, thank you so much. Bye-bye.